in-house analyst by the name Mr. Salman Salami, who is also a seasoned journalist and the chief operating officer of Citizen 93.7 FM. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you, Shim.
All right. And as you know, at the half-hour mark, I'll bring him on so we can discuss the details or certain things that, we would find on the dailies this morning, and to kickstart the day, and also go ahead with the stories that are resounding. We'll take a look at the Punch newspaper this morning, and here the first headline on the cover page of the Punch newspaper, we can see that Nigerians seek relief as states get 3.3 trillion naira allocations. Nigeria seek relief as states get 3.3 trillion naira allocations, and also Eagles 3 billion naira recharge squad arrives Boake for Bafana clash. And also more stories here says in regards to kidnapping, demand for bulletproof vehicles rises, dealers lament forex crisis. And more stories here on the Punch newspaper in regards to a gridlock says that gridlock as fuel queues resurface in Lagos. There was heavy traffic gridlock in some parts of Lagos on Monday as motorists formed long queues outside the forecourts of filling stations on what appeared may herald a fresh scarcity of premium motor spirits. Now, one of our correspondents observed along the Ikorodu Road axis how motorists endured an unusually heavy gridlock due to a long queue of motorists waiting to buy petrol at filling stations. Now, the next story here on the Punch newspaper says that customs deny involvement in Katsina teenagers' death. The Nigerian Customs Service has denied involvement in the death of a teenager at the GBR border area of Katsina State. The National Public Relations Officer of the service, Abdullahi Maiwada, disclosed this in a statement on Monday, but he, however, extended the service's heartfelt condolences to the family of the deceased. And that's that on the Punch newspaper. Let's take a look at this day newspaper and see what is happening for today, the 6th of February 2024. And it's important to note that you can call the phone lines on 0818-222206, or you can call us on 0903-2229-797. And you can also send a WhatsApp message on 0818 222206 0818-222206. In case you have any feedback for us, you can send the message there, and you can also reach us right here in the studio, and we can definitely take your calls and have a good conversation this morning. Looking at the This Day newspaper, we can see on the cover page that a federal government expresses concern over rising cost of living, protest in Mina. Now, this comes with five riders that says that federal government says the situation caused by demand supply forces, and it also says that government looking forward to good harvest that will reduce prices. The third rider says that Yusuf declares Kano people dying of hunger. The fourth rider says Bago blames food speculators. And also the last rider, which is the fifth, says that LP advises Tinubu to seek help in time. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Olawale Edun, said the rising prices of food and commodities in the country had become increasingly worrisome for the federal government. Edun said the situation, which had produced growing discontent among the citizenry, was triggered by demand and supply forces. Definitely, there's a whole lot happening. The cost of living is actually rising by the day, and so much more. The next story here says that the African Development Bank ready to disburse $540 million worth of special agro-industrial processing zones, that is the SABZs, to states. The AFDB ready to disburse $540 million SAPZ fund to states, and it comes with two riders that says Oyo, Cross River, Kaduna, Imo, Kano, Kwara, Ogun, FCT first set of beneficiaries to this fund being released. And also in regards to Shatima, it says that it is time for government partners to walk the talk. Definitely very important. We've been talking and talking, and this is the 8th month of the Tinubu administration, and it's about time, to walk the talk, not just talk and talk and talk. There's been a whole lot happening, definitely. I believe that this is a very good story to look into much later. And also on the foreign scene, we see that the Buckingham Palace says Britain's King Charles diagnosed with cancer. The Britain's King Charles III has been diagnosed with a form of cancer, and the 75-year-old will postpone public-facing duties while he undergoes treatment. This was said by the Buckingham Palace sometime on Monday. And in regard to NAFDAC, still under this day newspaper, it says that over 50% of foreign pharmaceutical products imported into Nigeria with fake certificates. The NAFDAC has classified more than 50% of the certificates of pharmaceutical products imported into Nigeria is fake. Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who is the Director General of NAFDAC, disclosed this at a stakeholders engagement meeting with regulators, policymakers, and law enforcement agencies in Abuja. She had said that Nigeria and other countries in Africa had agreed with the World Health Organization to ensure that products coming into the region were of quality through the issuance of quality assurance certificates. So how is it possible that over 50% of foreign products are fake? Wow. Now the next story, let's see what more is happening on this day newspaper when it comes to business. We can see that Exxon beats estimates and 2023 with a $36 billion profit. That is ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, at the weekend posted a better than expected $36 billion profit for 2023, lifted by fuel trading and higher oil and gas production. Wow, that is a lot of money speaking. Now, quickly, let's head on to a Vanguard newspaper and let's see what the headlines are saying, what the stories are also saying right there. And looking at the Vanguard newspaper, the latest news right there says that Cross River community bemoans abandonment. Apparently, the Yangsang community, located in the heart of Atimbo, Calabar municipality, local government area, the people are very much unhappy. They're unhappy that the many promises to rehabilitate their deplorable roads, complete abandoned projects, install electricity transformers, and others have been abandoned. I do believe that the federal governments are listening right now, and something will be be done to that. Now, villagers flee homes, hide in bushes as kidnappers, bandits seize Oron local government area. And then the next story here says armed herders terrorized Bayelsa, Delta farmers and fishermen. And also we can see that 6 months after Zamfara kidnap, it says that anxiety heightens in Akwa Ibom over abducted NYSC members. And that story you'd find on Vanguard newspaper to make sure you could get your hands on it and get up to speed with details of those particular stories. And also on the cover page you'd find that in regards to Edo by elections, Edo 2024, it says the People's Democratic Party PDP holds delegates Congress despite protests. Despite protests in some quarters, including 9 of its aspirants, the People's Democratic Party conducted its delegate Congress to elect 3 people from the ward that would participate in the February 22nd governorship primary. And also looking at more stories in regards to NYC, it says that we have stopped posting core members to very unsafe states. That I would say is actually, a very good story right there, because I know a number of parents, a number of people are very, very scared about, the postings and a lot of things happening in the country. But let's leave that conversation for when I'll bring on our in-house analyst to, talk some more on this certain stories. In the meantime, let's see what is happening on the Guardian newspaper this morning. And now on the Guardian newspaper, the headline says, building materials labor spike construction costs by 200%. Apparently, like every other sector, the building and construction industry may be witnessing one of its worst movements as exchange rate, building materials and labor prices have triggered an increase in construction costs by 200% in the last 2 years. And in regards to the business news, FCCPC films as loan apps violate regulation amid rising payments defaults. And this comes to the writer that says harassment, defamation, not option for debt recovery. Commission wants. More stories right here on the Guardian newspaper says that bank directors pledge support for CBN's new directive on FX NOP. And more stories here in regards to Nigeria as a country. We can see that EFCC arrests pastor over 1.3 billion naira fake grants and money laundering. The pastor has been arrested by the EFCC over 1.3 billion naira worth of fake grants and money laundering. And more stories here says government must dismantle criminality to build up skills, and this was said by Peter B. And now more news says that passengers Albon protest 333% service charge hike at Oshodi terminal. And last but not the least, here says that Senate wants customs to increase 5 trillion naira revenue target for 2024. Senate wants customs to increase 5 trillion naira revenue target for 2024. Apparently, the Senate yesterday counseled the Nigerian Customs Service, that is the NCS, to find ways of increasing its 5.079 trillion naira revenue target for 2024. Isa Jibrin, who gave the advice at a meeting with the agency's Comptroller General Adewale Adeniyi and top management team in Abuja. And that's that on the leadership on the Guardian newspaper. Pardon me. Let's move on quickly to more news stories right here on leadership newspaper. Let's see how many more we can get our hands on, and also see what is making the rave on our dailies right here in Nigeria. On the cover story of leadership paper, it says that 15.9 students, pardon me on that one, it says okay, let's look at the story instead. 15.9 million students spend 159 billion naira on mobile data monthly. 15.9 million students spend 159 on mobile data. Now that is not excusable at all, because it is relatable, and I'm very sure it should be more than students. It says that Nigerian students have pardon me, to hold on that point. Anyways, looking at more stories in regards to Japa, it says it is a must read. So if at all you get your hands on the leadership newspaper, make sure you look at this. It says that there is no easy life for Nigerians in Europe, and also detractors paid to truncate Rivers governance, and this was said by ex-chief whip. And the next story here says pharmacists blame high cost of drugs on diesel and forex, pardon me. Then Blinken begins fifth Middle East trip after strikes against Houthis, and this came in a few minutes ago. Says that Institute lauds Burna Boy over performance at a Grammy Awards. That is in line with entertainment as well. And more stories here on the leadership newspaper in regards to mining. It says that Nigeria to attract $20 billion investment from UK, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and China. Investors in the solid minerals sector have indicated interest in coming to Nigeria to invest $20 billion in the sector in order to boost the nation's economy. The chief executive officer of a mining company, Daru Nigerian Limited, and also the Nigerian partner and representative, Alhaji Mohammed Abaliman, made the revelation. $20 billion worth of investment in mining from UK, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and also China. And the next story here says that again, CBN adjusts exchange rate to 1,413.62 naira against $1. Amid the stakeholders' rejection of the 1,356 naira exchange rate, the Central Bank of Nigeria readjusted the exchange rate on the customs platform to 1,413.62 naira against $1 as the exchange rate. And also, minimum wage is a part of the matters arising, and here it says that the federal government recently inaugurated a 37-member tripartite national minimum wage committee with a directive to ensure that the decisions are rooted in social justice and equity. And with little or no time to go, let's take a look at Daily Trust and see what is also happening on that front. And now on the Nigerian Daily, it says on the top story for Daily Trust, here says that Nigeria has the cheapest egg in the world, and this is by a Poultry Farmers Association. And we've also looked at the story about the about the Buckingham Palace, where King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer, and obviously all of his activities have to be put off until he recovers. And then court refuses bail to 5 Fubara loyalists charged with burning of state assembly. The next story here says that Arewa think tank 19 CSOs tackle critics of Tinubu's economic policies. And also, one more story here says that court remands man accused of job racketeering and impersonation. Job racketeering and impersonation right here in Nigeria. An FCT High Court has remanded one Jim Chimieze Okolo at the Nigerian Correctional Center in Kuje, Abuja, for alleged job racketeering and impersonation right here. And he's also, he's been given an 8-count charge bordering on conspiracy and obtaining by false pretense. And the charges filed under Section 1, Subsection 1A, and Section 8 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Related Offences Act 2006, and punishable under Section 1, Subsection 3 of the same act. This story you'd find on the Daily Trust newspaper. So in case you get your hands on any of the papers, to make sure you get up to speed with the stories, and also familiarize yourself with more details in regards to dailies right here for today, Tuesday, the 6th February 2023. And here as well, we see a particular story that says that explosion raises a 3-story building, injures child grandparents in Lagos. A 4-year-old girl identified as Faridat Shitu and her grandparents are currently in a critical condition at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital after a cooking gas explosion ravaged a 3-story building along Odubanwo Street off Olani Street in Ojokoro Local Council Development Area in Lagos. Her uncle also suffered varying degrees of burns in the incident that occurred on Sunday. I must say that I do wish them speedy recovery and also peace through the whole process. And lastly, let's take a quick look at the Nation newspaper before I bring on our in-house analyst to diverge certain informations and also run through certain stories. Here on the cover page, it says that EFCC freezes 3 billion naira traced to Sirika's brother's account over an alleged 8.06 billion naira contract fraud in the Federal Ministry of Aviation, and also forex reforms attracting FDIs, and this was said by Cardoso. And here we see that Oyo Kaduna Cross River to share $540 million AFDB fund. This was already seen on the Vanguard newspaper in regards to the fund created and also dedicated to certain states right here in Nigeria. And also a news story about the federal government banning alcoholic beverages in small sachets. This is, I feel like on the flip side, this is a story we should also look at. And in regards to insecurity, it says that NCC security operatives working to tackle challenges. And also in regards to ECOWAS, CSOs call for dialogue to prevent disintegration. That is the coalition of civil society organizations urged for for dialogue with aggrieved member countries to prevent the disintegration of the economic community of West African states. The groups comprising the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, that is CISLAC, and the West Africa Civil Society Forum and Transition Monitoring Group made the call at a media interactive session in Lagos State. And this story you can find on the Nation newspaper. And lastly, one more story before we head into conversation. Here it says that firm launches a new product, and that is a story that you'd also find on the Nation newspaper. Firm launches new products. The Dana Pharmaceutical has launched Ferrodyne Plus and Dana C vitamin C syrup in Niger State. And also, I feel this is connected to, the 50% of pharmaceutical products being, of foreign pharmaceutical products being fake, importing fake products into the country as well. Then here it says that protest rocks Mina, and this comes with a rider that says that the governor has said people mopping up food items to create scarcity. A cartel bent on sabotaging the economy is mopping up foodstuffs and livestock to cause hunger and incite the populace. And this was said by the Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago. Apparently, he had alleged that there's a particular cartel that is bent on sabotaging the economy, and they are mopping up foodstuffs and livestock to cause hunger and incite the populace. I think this is one story to start with, but in the meantime, let's go on a very, very quick break. When we are back, we'll definitely have conversations on some of the stories that we've had to touch base with, and also it's a good time to say that you can call in on 0903 2229 797 0903 2229 797, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp on 0818 2222 205 0818 2222 205. Another number you can reach us on is 0818 2222206 0818 2222206. Do stay tuned to your favorite radio station right here on Citizen 93.7 FM. We'll be right back, and make sure not to touch the dial. And yes, thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back to the newspaper review right here on Citizen 93.7 FM. And once again, I'd like to introduce my guests joining me for the review this morning. As I have with me Mr. Salami Salman. Thank you very much for always being here and making yourself available. Good morning once again.
Good morning. It's my pleasure being here.
Thank you. All right, so definitely we're going to, kickstart from the story here where it talked about, a cartel where the governor of Niger State had actually talked about a cartel, actually siphoning the produce, the also the livestock and all of that, just to cause hunger and a lot of issues within the state. Now that is the local scene, but it's really important to touch down on this and also to look deep into it, like why exactly would this kind of thing be happening, because obviously it is causing a protest to rock the particular state. Mr. Salami, what exactly do you make of this? Because it is the governor himself who has alleged the happening per se.
Thank you very much for starting this review on this very important note, the living condition of Nigerians. And as the governor said, that the cost of living is becoming increasingly high and unbearable. It is visible to the blind, like we keep on saying, that there is hardship in the land. And it is good a thing that the government, whether at the state, at the local, state, and federal level, are now realizing that there is hardship in the land. But there is a serious dimension to it. For the governor of Niger State, His Excellency Alhaji Bago, to say that there is a cartel that is mopping up foodstuffs and livestock in order to create food scarcity. This is scratching the surface. It is more than that. How on earth will cartel be stronger, bigger, and better organized than the government in such a way that they are able to wreak havoc by mopping up foodstuff? Is it due to the absence of government or insensitivity on the part of the government? This is not the solution to it. This is not the real cause. The Honorable Minister of Finance also said that the increasing cost of living is as a result of these forces of demand and supply. What precisely are we saying? Essentially, and the root cause of it is the insecurity. Farmers are unable to go to the farm, or they are afraid to go to the farm because of kidnappers. That is not the only thing. Secondly, there is the need for the government to pay priority attention to agriculture. No doubt about that. The living condition of Nigeria is precarious now. And if possible, I will suggest that the government declare a state of emergency on agriculture, or the agricultural sector. In such a way, let us pay more attention to the soil, to the land. Let's go back to the soil. Before crude oil, Nigerians, or indeed Nigeria, was making a lot of money from agriculture. The cocoa house in Ibadan was built by the Western Region government from the proceeds of cocoa. Ditto, so many infrastructures and buildings, including ABU as at that time, by the government of Sir Ahmadu Bello, from the Granite Pyramid. It was the proceeds from the Granite Pyramid that they used to develop the northern region that time, and the eastern region from the palm produce by the government of Michael Okpara. So you could see that the solution to our problem is going back to our roots. Any nation that's unable to feed herself will always be in trouble. And that was why what happened in Minna yesterday, Niger State, happened. Protest. I pray that it doesn't get to other states in such a manner that it becomes another problem. But then there is the need for the government to do the needful, because the hardship in the land is real.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that insightful delivery. And also, let's even take a look at the EFCC says that they have, arrested, or better still, they have been able to siphon money from...
To freeze,
pardon my choice of language here. It says that they've been able to freeze a certain amount of money from Siriki's account. And it's like the FCC comes and then they keep freezing this amount of money. They keep taking this certain amount of money. Where does it go to? What happens when that money is frozen? Why is it? Because now we keep saying that the cost of living is high, this is high, and yet every day in the news, you see this money has been frozen, this person has been brought in for questioning in regards to a particular, accusation about siphoning certain funds. So when these funds are gotten back from these people, where do they put them eventually? What happens to these funds? Why is it not put back into the country and then help the cost of living of the Nigerians, as we said earlier?
Well, quite many of these questions we may not be able to answer here, because we should ask those who are in a position to give us factual answers as to what they have been putting the seized or freezed money into. Be it as it may, the issue of corruption is a big problem. It has become a very, very big problem. Mark you can't find a corruption-free society. No doubt about that. Because you are dealing with human beings. And because you are dealing with human beings, there will be instances of such vice. But the point is this. What is the chance or the chances of being detected? Because if you know that you will be caught and there will be consequence, then you think twice. Well, it's sad that the former aviation minister, Senator Adi Sirika, was alleged to have been involved in corruption to the extent that about 3 billion was seized or has been freezed. And this is equal to investigation on 8.6 billion naira fraud, alleged fraud against him.
Yeah.
You see, EFCC has been freezing money, and it has been investigating and detecting fraud cases against so many people over the years. Even the Abuja loot has always been there. Is it a case of any money looted, gotten will be relooted, and a looter continua, like the students will cheekily say, which is no more a joke, because the nuns at the time will say any money looted will be relooted, and that is a looter continua, which is not the way to go, which is not right, which is not a trivial issue. It's a serious matter. Corruption has eaten deep, and I think the government should take a decisive step over this issue. What do I mean? There should be the political will to deal decisively with corruption and corrupt people. I will not suggest the rolling way, but I would rather say that the government should be courageous enough to deal once and for all with this vice, digital kidnapping, because Nigerians today are so much afraid that they could hardly sleep with their eyes closed. And like it's been said, or it's been discussed in some quarters, that kidnapping should attract death sentence or penalty. It has gotten to a level where kidnapping for ransom has become the order of the day now, and this is not good enough. But we should go the whole hog. This is abnormal times, and we should apply abnormal solution to it. What do I mean? Kidnapping should not be treated with kid gloves now. Moreover, when we have seen that it's becoming a commerce, an enterprise, because it's lucrative, and given the hardship in the land, quite many people are now taken to kidnapping, and this is causing a lot of problem, nightmare, so to speak. So I would rather suggest that let us take a drastic action against it.
Okay, that's a very important view. You know, like I think I read sometime yesterday about the kidnap that happened of the pupils in Ekiti State, and they said that the driver was actually burnt alive. Yes, it was very devastating. And also, you know, it was in the news that the federal government had said, no one should be in a hurry to crowdfund or source for money, that the money would eventually come. But now the parents of the pupils that were abducted went about and, you know, tried to get as much money as they could. But at the end of the day, one life was still lost, and that was what they were trying to avoid. So I do stand with, you know, the part where you said, okay, you have something to say.
Crowdfunding. You see, like I keep on saying that we should not negotiate with criminals. We should not accept criminality as a way of life. But then it stops there. Look at it objectively and realistically. If you have one of your words in captivity with kidnappers, the only thing you want to hear is release my word.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how. Moreover, when it appears as it were that they are having upper hand or an edge, and the government seems overwhelmed because the incidence of kidnapping is prevalent now. No matter how you plead and what you say about crowdfunding, what is uppermost in the mind of whoever has someone in captivity is how the person will be released.
Yes.
And unless and until the government assures us that, yes, we will get your word out, not only out, but on time.
And
Look at the youth corps members who are on their way to the camp in Zamfara State. Almost 3 months now, they are still in the custody of the kidnappers. So many other ones. It is sad, and the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is really trying. Is really trying to ensure that Nigerians sleep with their eyes closed. But there's the need to do more. That is the truth. There is the need to do more and give Nigerians the sense of belonging that, yes, the government is there to protect life and property. That is even the critical role of any government. That is what they are there to do. That is the primary role of any government. Protection of life and property of citizens. Without this, no meaningful progress can be made. Let the government address this incessant kidnappings and corruption.
And now, talking about the need to do more, there's a news story here that says that Arawa think tank, 19 CSOs tackle critics of Tinubu's economic policies, and that is in collaboration with 19 northern-based civil society organizations. The group specifically faulted those kicking against the proposed relocation of some key departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos. Mr. Salami, what exactly would you make of this? What is your thoughts on this?
Well, we always say at Citizen FM that we will be critical, but we will not be hostile. If there is a need to be critical, yes, don't spare the government and don't be hostile. But Arewa think tank and some CSOs criticizing those who are faulting some economic policies of the government. Yes, they have the right to do so, but how factual? Are they jobbers? What is the alternative? Again, as regards the relocation of some departments of CBN to Lagos and of Aviation Fund to Lagos, what is the big deal about that? If they will achieve more with less cost, why shouldn't they be relocated? The Honorable Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, came on air the other time to tell us that over 500 million was spent on air tickets.
From Lagos to Abuja.
Lagos to Abuja route, simply because even to bring a file amongst what the money was spent upon. So what exactly are we saying? The question is this: relocating some of these offices to Lagos, will it help achieve more or not? If by relocating you will save money and achieve more, which is the efficiency, and that is what we need. It's not a question of where an office is located in itself and by itself. More than the location of an office, there is this Teachers Registration Council in Kaduna. Has anybody raised any eyebrow over that? There are so many other federal institutions and agencies spread across the country for efficiency reasons. And in any case, when has that become a problem? Is that we need now? Is that the major issue now? How has that brought food on the table for the common man? Efficiency, transparency, and seamless administrative process is all we need. Whatever will assist the government to deliver the bountiful dividends of democracy to the people, that decision, let them take it. And if it is the best interest of this country, so be it.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Salman, for that one. It's good to note that NYSC says that we've stopped posting core members to very unsafe states, and I'm only reiterating on this because you had made mention of the core members that were on their way to Zamfara, and then they're still in the den of the kidnappers even after 3 months. And then right now NYSC has come forward to say that the scheme has stopped posting core members to states deemed unsafe as a result of the worsening security conditions in the country. And this was disclosed by the Minister of Youth, Jamila Ibrahim, because like they said, several core members had been abducted in some parts of the country during their 1-year mandatory national service, and this has raised fears about the sustainability of the scheme. If I remember one time when a number of people came forward and said, you know what, NYSC should be scrapped. It should be scrapped because this and this and this and this is the reason why we cannot be going to serve your country for a stipulated period of time, and yet you are not safe enough to travel within the same country that you claim to, to travel for, and then you're claiming to go serve. And it's something to actually, I don't know, it's something to be grateful for. What do you say, Mr. Salami?
Straight away, I do not subscribe to the views that NYC should be scrapped. I don't. Because don't let us throw away the baby and the bathwater. We should not do that. That is one. But two, only the living can serve.
Sure.
You can only do youth service corps because you are alive.
Very true.
No dead person can serve. So the decision of the NYC not to post youth corps members to unsafe states is right. If a state is not safe, don't post youth corps members there, because you are endangering their lives. And that is one. Then two, I will suggest that Mr. President should hold governors responsible for security issues in their states. So also governors should hold local government chairmen responsible for whatever happens in their local government. There are three tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local government. And we should not give impression as if everything is in the hands of the federal government. If we have true federalism, the state should be able to take care of their state, including the security. But then there is an issue. A situation whereby we are practicing feeding bottle federalism, whereby states must always come to Abuja to collect allocation every month. And mind you, the governors or the commissioners of police in the states, they don't take directive or instruction from the governor. They are not responsible to him. They are responsible to the IG, and the IG is responsible to Mr. President. So if you say that the governors are the chief security officers in their respective states, yet they don't have the authority over the commissioners of police in their respective states, what do you make of that? It's like giving somebody a biro. There is no paper. So I think there is the need to rethink or rework that provisions of the Constitution in such a way that we will have true federalism and devolve some powers to the states in such a way that the governor will be responsible for the security in the state, as it were. But as it is now, it is not a tidy arrangement.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Salmon, for that. We've been able to touch on few stories, and this is the time for us to bring, the newspaper review to a close. But in the meantime, it's important to also note that these issues and these stories that we've brought forth to you, we've been able to review. Your hands on the dailies themselves: Punch newspaper, Vanguard newspaper, The Nation. You can also get your hands on the Guardian newspaper, Daily Trust as well, and get up to speed with detailed stories and detailed information as well. This is the Citizen 93.7 FM, and it's important to also note that we bring you the newspaper review Monday to Saturday, right here on your favorite radio station. And when we return later, would return with the big talk, which goes on from 8 a.m. So do stay tuned and make sure that you do not touch the dial. Stay tuned to your favorite radio station. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Salman Salami, for your consistent time.
It's my pleasure.
Always. All right, stay tuned to more, and we'll be right back for the big talk. My name remains Shane Smith.